Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's makeup look is inspired by the editorial image for KIKO's new collection, Neo Noir. I'm going to start off by using their new Divine Tone Radiant Face Serum, and I'm going to use their Face 106 Duo Fibre Brush to apply this. The one I'm using is medium to dark, but it comes in medium to light as well. So this is a moisturising face serum. When applied with a Duo Fibre Brush, it adds the tiniest amount of colour to your skin, and it works brilliantly before applying your makeup. For foundation, I'm using their Weightless Perfection Wet and Dry Powder Foundation. I'm going to be applying two different colours, one that matches my skin tone on my body because that's darker. I wear high SPF on my face so it really gets a tan. So that colour's going around the perimeter of my face where the sun would naturally hit. And I've dampened the sponge that comes with the compact. Then I'm going in with one that actually matches the skin tone on my face, and I'm applying that to the centre of the face. What I particularly like about these foundations is they look very natural on the skin but really even out your skin tone. They're also non-comedogenic, which is great for my skin because most things make me break out, and it also contains SPF of 30, so I know I've got that protection from the sun when I'm out and about. So as you can see, by using the two different colours, I've still got that natural tanned appearance to my face. This is the Strobe and Cream Contour Palette from the Neo Noir collection. So this again comes in two shades. You've got light to medium and medium to dark. This one is the lightest. So the texture of this is quite velvety. It goes on and it doesn't leave your face feeling tacky like a lot of cream contours do. I'm using a Duo Fibre Brush to apply that into the contours of the cheeks, around my hairline and also my temples. And then I'm going in with the highlight shade and applying that to the tops of my cheekbones. This eyeshadow from the collection is my new ultimate favourite. This is KIKO's Sparkling Trail eyeshadow in 05 Powder Blue. Seeing this eyeshadow on the editorial image was the main reason for me wanting to create this look. You'll see it in the window of all the KIKO shops at the moment. As you can see, the finish of this eyeshadow is metallic, it's super creamy and lightweight, and it's so easy to work with. So I'm applying that onto the mobile eyelid up to where my eye naturally creases, and I'm working that in with a brush. It says that these eyeshadows are super long wearing. That is literally an understatement. It's completely water resistant. I had to use an oil based eye makeup remover to get the product off. It was fantastic in terms of its longevity. I'm creating a rather large wing on the outer corner of the eye. I'm using this angled liner brush by KIKO number 204. I'm running the bristles onto the eyeshadow pen and then working that directly onto the skin. This is how we can create the sharp lines to our wing. When creating something like this, you want to get the initial shape first and then get as close to the mirror as you can and take your time in perfecting and crisping up your lines. On the editorial image, the outer wing doesn't go to a really thin sharp point, it's actually quite thick still, so you want to bear that in mind when replicating this look. I've kept the height of the wing almost perpendicular to the highest point of my eyelid. So now I've got the rough shape, I'm going to carry on with the eye makeup, so I'm going to apply the same colour along the waterline. You can see how highly pigmented this colour is. You just swipe over and it leaves the most beautiful vibrant shade behind. Using the same angled liner brush, I'm working that underneath the lower lashes and just smudging it right in between to make sure everything's coated in that nice powder blue. As we get to the inner corner of the eye, we're going to use the bristles to trace the shape of our eye, but pulling the colour out by a couple of millimetres, so we're getting a bit of a cat eye. Then off camera, I'm going to get closer to the mirror so I can just perfect the lines. For mascara, I'm using KIKO's Unmeasurable Length Fibre Mascara, and I'm going to apply a couple of coats to both the top and bottom lashes. Look how beautiful the eyeshadow looks. When you move your head, you get a slightly darker appearance to the outer edges and a lighter blue on the centre. On the outer corner of the top lash line, very close to the lashes, I'm going to apply a very small amount of this KIKO Ultimate Black Pen Liner. And then off camera, I'm going to apply some individual lashes. Following the reference image, we're keeping it really natural. I'm going to use a little bit of the bronzer from the collection. This is Design Flower Enriched Bronzer. And using the KIKO Face 103 brush, I'm applying this just into the hollows of the cheeks. Usually when we work on editorial makeup, we keep the face quite fresh and clean, but define the hollows of the cheeks. Next, I'm using KIKO's Shade Fusion Blush in 01. Placing the brush directly over all three shades, I'm going to apply that with the darkest shade on the bottom half of the cheek and the lightest shade going over the highlighter. There are 8 different lippies in the Neo Noir collection. I have 2 of them, but I'm actually going to use something different for my lips because I want it to be just very natural. The typography pink one that I just held up was a bit too light for me. I'm using Model's Own Dare to Bare Semi Matte Lipstick in Expose. And that completes the look. I really hope you liked it. I just want to clarify this wasn't a paid sponsored video. I asked to create this look and the products were sent to me for free. I know it's not an everyday look, it is an editorial look, but I still hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already done so. If you missed my previous tutorials, you can click on these now. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also Snapchat. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye!